a camper who had visited the same peaceful valley in Bradford, West Yorkshire for years. It was his favorite spot, quiet, hidden, and naturally protected from wind. But recently, his experiences there started to change. During one of his trips, everything seemed normal at first. Just the sound of a nearby stream and the usual nighttime atmosphere. Then strange noises began.
That's more better. Something seemed off. And I have one tucked right up in here. Oh, you can see it, yeah, right there. Man, I just heard I don't know if I was even all the way asleep or what, but there was a huge crash outside.
And just when things couldn't get stranger, the camera captured something unusual near his hammock. For a brief moment, a fast-moving object passed by. It appeared to have lights, and what looked like multiple wings. Not clear enough to identify, but definitely not something you'd expect to see in a quiet campsite. At that point, the situation stopped feeling natural. It felt like something was out there, moving around, making its presence known without ever fully revealing itself.
It's throwing stuff at the deck. I'm armed. No. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. Man, whatever that is, I don't know what. I almost feel like it could be people messing with me. I just heard it breathing. Oh!
Branches snapping, movements just outside the camp. Now normally, you could explain that, animals, birds, maybe even wind. But this location was deep in a valley, naturally sheltered. Strong wind wasn't common there, which made the sounds harder to explain. Then came something much worse. A low, disturbing gurgling noise. Not loud, but clear enough to stand out. He later described it as sounding similar to something from a horror movie, like The Grudge. That's not a normal forest sound. He even enhanced the audio later while editing, and instead of explaining it, it only made it clearer, and more unsettling. There were no known animals in that area that could make a sound like that. No wild pigs, nothing obvious. Which raises a question: if it wasn't an animal, then what was it? Nick and Ted were quietly waiting in a tree stand. Everything felt normal at first, calm, silent, exactly what you'd expect. Then suddenly, a gunshot echoed through the forest.
There ain't nothing out here.
At first, it didn't seem unusual. Hunting shots in the distance happen all the time. But then more shots followed, and within minutes, it turned into a constant barrage of gunfire. We're not talking about 1 or 2 shots. Over the next 30 minutes, more than 20 gunshots rang out through the woods. The pattern sounded chaotic, not controlled like normal hunting. And then came the part that made it truly disturbing. They started hearing voices. Shouting. Screaming. Panic. It sounded like multiple people, some yelling aggressively, and at one point, it even sounded like someone was crying.
Gunshot, it sounded like a truck revving up or something, like in gravel, throwing gravel or something. Yeah. And then that gunshot was like, that one sounded like a rifle. Yeah. That last one, all the other ones sounded like a handgun. That last one was like, pow.
You could make out a few things they were saying. It wasn't good.
Things we won't repeat on here, but it was like blood-curdling screaming. I've never witnessed anybody screaming like that.
Yeah.
Ended up warping them on it, how close we would be to that.
We might have been able to see it. That's terrifying.
That is wicked.
Well, hopefully nobody got shot, but sure sounded like somebody did.
Sounds like somebody might have got killed over there. Your vehicle.
Yep. Looking up this house, the nearest house over there, so we can call somebody whenever we get out of here. We ain't got any service in here, so can't call the police and tell them to go over there and see what the heck's going on, but sound like something off a dang horror movie over there. Pretty scary. Hoping nobody's getting killed or hurt over there. what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, when somebody says that they heard somebody screaming bloody murder, that's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
That's the most blood-curdling,
They're still yelling.
horrific screaming I've ever heard.
I mean, it sounds like a guy that's absolutely losing his mind over there. And maybe he shot somebody. That's scary.
So we're gonna go ahead and get down. We got like a mile and a half walk out here. All that stuff is just like 800-900 yards away. We're gonna get on down and get on out of here.
Vehicle just pulled up right down that way somewhere. The closest road is how far?
That way.
Yeah.
800 yards.
Yeah, that ain't very far.
Not at all.
If they decide to head for the hills, we're gonna be in the hills, so we're trying to get out of the hills.
We're trying to get out, and we got a ways to go, so that's what we're gonna do. I don't know, it just made me uneasy.
Yep.
I don't like it.
You and me both.
Yes. I've heard some stuff that I feel needs to be reported to the police department. Me and a buddy were hunting, and at about 6:45, we heard gunshots, which is not uncommon, but then for 30 minutes straight or so, there was lots of screaming and just obscenities, and it sounded like something really bad was going on over there, and there was 20 or more gunshots ended up happening. And then I could hear vehicles taking off and coming to a halt, and we didn't know what to do, and we had no service, so we're trying to report and see if anything had been reported about there. I have pins dropped on a map about how far we were from where we think this was occurring. My name is Nicholas Andrews.
Some viewers later believed they could hear a chilling line in the audio, "Somebody help, you killed her." Now think about that for a second. Gunshots, screaming, possible cries for help, all happening deep in the wilderness. That's not normal. Then, to make things even more intense, they heard vehicles, engines revving, tires spinning on gravel, cars stopping and starting like people were rushing in and out of the area. But here's the worst part, they couldn't see anything, only hear it. So they stayed where they were, listening as this entire situation unfolded somewhere nearby. Eventually, everything stopped. The gunshots, the voices, the vehicles, gone. Just silence again. As soon as they got signal, they reported everything. But when authorities investigated the area, they found nothing. No bodies, no evidence, no shell casings, nothing at all. It's like whatever happened out there, completely disappeared. And that's what makes this case so unsettling. Either something serious happened and left no trace, or what they heard wasn't what it seemed. The final and most disturbing incident starts like any other camping trip, but quickly turns into something far more dangerous. But before moving forward, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Throughout the night, the camper began hearing noises around his tent, branches falling nearby, movements getting closer each time. Then he heard something that immediately changed everything. Breathing. Close enough to know it was right outside the tent. He could feel that someone was there, standing just outside, not leaving, not making any obvious movement. Then suddenly, a heavy object slammed onto the tent. A cinder block. That's not something that just happens in the wild. That's intentional. Before he could process what was happening, the situation escalated even further. The tent was cut open from the outside, as if someone was trying to get in, or force him out. At that point, there was no hesitation. He ran. Leaving everything behind, he escaped into the darkness just to get away safely.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
It turned into a full emergency evacuation. But what makes this even more disturbing is what happened after. 7 days later, he returned to the same spot. His tent was completely destroyed. And the same cinder block that had been thrown at him was now inside. This wasn't an animal. This wasn't an accident. Someone had been there. And they weren't just trying to scare him. Now, before jumping to conclusions, I want to say this clearly. I don't guarantee that all of these incidents are completely real or genuine. But based on what was captured, they are definitely unsettling. So the real question is, what do you think actually happened in these situations? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.